Hi everyone, we're live. Over to you, Pariti.
Hi everyone, welcome to this Saturday's Socratic dialogue, which is on the topic of design thinking. I would like both the teams to start introducing themselves first.
Hi everyone, myself
Just a
Rajnikant.
second. Just a second, Shrikant. Before that, Pariti, would you like to talk a little bit about what design thinking is before we go directly into
Sure,
that?
sure. So, design thinking as a concept was started in Stanford University, and initially it was just being used by startups. But currently, almost every organization out there is implementing it and getting really good results out of it. Design thinking as a concept is about empathizing with your user, understanding what they want, defining your problem, and focusing on the exact root cause of that problem to ideate the right solutions, test them out, and achieve your desired targets. So this is what the teams today will be talking about. They'll be coming up with their own problems on which they'll be applying the concepts of design thinking.
Thank you so much, Pariti. Over to you, Rajnikant, for the introduction.
Hey, hi everyone, I'm Rajnikant and I'm from Team Transit and I'm a developer in Vishwakarma. Thank you.
Who's going next?
Hi everyone, I'm Darshana Adam. I'm from Team Transient and I am a part of tech team in Deep Thought.
Hi everyone, this is Vignesh from Team Cancel. So I'm a part of tech team of Team Cancel.
Hi everyone, this is Shreya. I'm part of the R&D team at Deep Thought, and today I'm a coach for Team Transit.
Hello everyone, I'm Dia and today I'm part of team David Kelly and I'm also the part of research and development team at Deep Thought.
Hello everyone, I am Archana. I am part of the team David Kelly and I am also part of Deep Thought as a content writer in Unique Biotech.
Hello, I'm Vinay. I'm from Team David Kelly and I'm a data operations engineer at Vishkarma.
I am Pratibha. I am the coach for Team David Kelly, and I'm also in research intern in TikTok, and currently the member of Team CRDBS.
Hi everyone, I am Artwa. I'll be your moderator today and I'm a growth hacker at TikTok.
Hi everyone, I'm Paridhi. I'll be a co-moderator today, and I am a part of the research and development team as well as the thought leadership team at Deep Thought. Right.
Okay,
So, which
thank
team
you.
would like to go first?
Team David can, if they say alphabetically.
Is Team David Kelly up for the challenge?
Yeah, let me share my presentation.
Before we start with the pictures, we have this as a ritual of Socratic dialogue. Could you tell us why is your team named David Kelly?
So David Kelly is known as a father of design thinking. So we named our team as David Kelly.
Okay, thank you, Vinay. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So hello everyone. The problem statement that we're working on is so basically the observers who are joining Deep Thought having a problem while doing uh, reflections on their observations. So while writing their reflections, they are lacking the depth in their reflections, and they are doing just recalling. They are doing recalling. So that's the problem statement we're working on. So let's understand the users. So basically, while observers are joining Deep Thought, Deep Thought uh, has a different culture. So yeah, they have a problem understanding the reflections and the deities culture, and also they don't have the importance. They don't know the importance of the reflections. So the root cause is so the users basically the observers, they don't have like because our education system has more focuses on rote learning rather than creativity and critical thinking. So that's where the observers are facing the problems while reflecting. So the so the diagnosis is we are introducing with the help of DT culture itself. So we are trying to solve this problem.
Vinay, could you please keep the pitch a little short since we only have 2 minutes for pitches?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Who's taking over from Vinay?
I'm taking.
Archana will take on next slide.
How we are differentiating it is there's already an internship that has been introduced into all the colleges in India, like medical colleges. But the main thing that the problem is faced is that curriculum is there for namesake, the students are using it. They don't know actual essence or the importance of the observership. So that we are observing in DT as well. People, there is no internal motivation for it. Just for the sake of doing, they are doing the observership that we can observe in the reflections as well. So when the interns enter DT, we need to introduce them to how the deep thought culture is. Thread building is there, and if we introduce them to TOC also, it will give them like a deeper understanding about TOC, what is TOC and how the reflection should be, and real-time examples also will help them. And how are we going to test it, or what are the prototypes we are using is first mentor TOC, where the every day, end of the day, the observers are given a chance to reflect themselves, and the mentor will be there. They will tell their TOC, and observers will be asked to do so. In self-driven TOC, only the explanation is given, but the mentor will not give their TOC or tell them this is how you need to do. And TOC without guidance, they are just told about the TOC, but not like they're not doing TOC. Yeah.
So in the learnings part, so this whole process of implementing different types of prototypes, it will tell us which method can best provide a creative and effective solution to improve the potential of observers to grasp and reflect many concepts that they come across in our ecosystem. And for the implementations part, based on the previous data and the current data that we would collect on this prototype, the experimentation we can work on these insights to make the whole process more engaging and to increase the observers' learning. So, in conclusion, even if the observers do not get a chance to be in the ecosystem beyond 3 days, we just want them to have takeaways that can make a positive impact or a change in their mindset, their life, and as well as their careers. Thank you.
Thank you, Team David Kelly. Over to Team Transcend for questions.
Okay, I have a question. How, like, real time that you mentioned, the real time examples or previous observers can help them to write a better reflection.
Yeah, here we are talking about the TOC, how the TOC helped them to write the reflections or how it made them to understand more about deep thought. If a person comes and tells the new observers about this is how they improvised, or rather than telling our own examples, if there was a person in deep thought and we are given the example, like there was a person, one student who used to write 11,000 words, characters in thread building, and how he improvised in his career. That is like a motivation or giving them like a real-time example. If we tell the observers also, this is the example, this has happened, that person like career or view towards the career has changed means, it's like they are also given an interest to, like we are increasing their motivation or interest to continue with the observership or understand.
Archana, we got the answer. Let's keep the answers short.
Okay.
Back to Team Transcend.
So are you guys saying that TOC is most efficient than other tools to improve your design thinking?
Sorry, can you repeat your question again?
So is TOC the best way to improve your design thinking, or you're using it as an example?
Yeah, TOC
Then
is
there is design thinking
improves the
too.
reflections, not the design thinking.
So I want to add on this. It's like design thinking is about make mistakes, learn fast, iterate fast, and like grow fast. We are also doing trial and thread builder is introduced. If we introduce TOC also, maybe the understanding of reflections can be increased with the observers.
We are using design thinking principles, but
Mm.
our end goal is to improve reflection.
But which tool are you focusing more on, TOC or on thread build?
Thread builder has been already introduced and observers are using it. TOC has not been introduced. So our focus is on TOC.
So how can we ensure that improvements made are sustainable over time?
Sorry.
So how can we ensure that the improvements made over are sustainable over time?
So it all depends upon whether the implementation of TOC is really helping us to improve the thought processes, right? So the root cause is that people are more focusing on memorization, which is due to the culture, or maybe how we are really how we are taught to be like. But we really want people to reflect and really have a depth in their so if we reflect, there would be learning, and if we see a positive correlation, then it can be a sustainable option to in the future.
How can you achieve better reflection through TOC?
So in TOC, as we interns, we usually, we plan our day, we see what are the actuals, and then we reflect on our day, right? So just like that, if observers are also able to plan, like how many questions they are going to ask, how many rooms they are going to, just observe. So things like that. So they will understand why they are doing what they are doing, and why would really address really reflect on positively on their reflections.
Thank you, Dia, for answering that question. But that question is beyond today's reach of our discussion on the design thinking principles. We want to understand the framework that they've followed and what are the each steps they have followed in that framework, and how can you question on the basis of that. Okay, over to Team Transit.
Okay. How are you empathizing with your users?
We are empathizing because the main problem that we are talking is they are just recalling, they are not reflecting. It's like our education system is like that, every one of us know it. We are just passive learners and mediocre type of learning that we are introduced to, and we are not encouraged to go for critical thinking or ask questions why it is happening. So it's like we are telling them, we are not just giving them overwhelmed with the DT culture or anything. We are just slowly introducing them, explaining them what is the DT culture, giving them real-time examples. And in the observership only, we are nurturing them to the active learning process.
Okay, but how are we actually empathizing with the users? I get the part like where you are mentioning about how you're improving their reflection, but how the empathizing is happening.
See, TOC is not done. Introducing TOC is also a way of empathizing with them. They don't know about TOC. Even
Archana, you're going on a tangent. He's asking if how do you know that your users are kind of, do they want this, do they not want this? How are you empathizing with your users? Is there any way that you're
So
doing it?
what you've done here is define a problem. You're saying that the problem is that they're used to memorizing and rote learning. That is a problem statement that you've defined, and you're saying TOC is a solution to it. But how do you know that this is the problem that your users are facing? That this is the problem that you think is the problem is the actual problem? How have you empathized with them to come to this understanding?
Right. So over the few months, we have noticed that the reflection qualities, in the sense that people would really recall instead of actually reflecting. We give guidelines to what actual reflections are, but we are not exactly blaming the observers. Why? Because we know that it's not a, a fault of someone. It's how we are conditioned to be. So we have introduced tools like thread builder, and we have seen the impact on the reflection. So we also want to use, like, try out different tools, DT culture tools, so as to gauge the impact of different cultural tools that we have.
Rajnikant, does that answer your question?
Okay, but we are still going towards the tools. How, in the first place, do you know that they need the tools? Are you looking at the reflection?
Like I said before, we
Yes.
give the guidelines, we actually tell them how a good reflection is, but that does not improve the reflection. But once we introduce the thread builder, it really helped improving reflections. So this is why we want to focus on tools right now, and we understand it's an assumption, but after iterating, making mistakes, only we would understand if it's a right approach or not.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
The
Can
improving reflections could have been due to multiple things, not just the thread builder, just them writing it down in different format could have just improved the reflection. How do you know it's not an assumption that these tools are increasing the ability of their ability to reflect? And is reflection the only thing you're looking at here?
So reflection really tells us about their thought processes and whether they have learnability. So in deep thought, we are looking at these different mindsets, and reflection is one way to assess the mindsets of observers. And also this reflection really helps observers to learn and grow a lot, not in just in their career path, but also in their life. So this is why we have seen that people really tend to recall only, and we have seen due to the nature of thread builder itself, the quality of reflections has improved. So we want to see and check out other options as well.
What do you mean when you say we have seen? Is it that you've talked to these people or you've just seen the data of what they've written?
Data of
Have you
what?
talked to your users?
Yes,
Is
they
the
tested it.
question.
No, we haven't talked. We have seen the
No.
data.
That was not the. Yeah, the question was, have you talked to your users?
I want to tell, like, we by ourselves are observers. When we entered DT, what and all we faced, what and all issues that we can relate to the observers when we entered a new setup. So keeping that in mindset.
What is it?
And
What
also,
if it's an isolated incident?
I will also like to add that each and every day that observers come back on their second and third day, we give them feedbacks. So feedback is not just a one-way process, it is an interactive session where the observers also ask us questions, and we give them feedback over their reflection. So that, if that answers your question, whether we are, interacting with the users. So I hope it answers that.
It was not that interacting with the users, it just I wanted to understand that for you to empathize with the users, did you talk to the users that what, like, how did you realize that this was their problem? You had some data and you took the data into question without, I mean, I'm not sure if you have or not, but without thinking that this data might be or might not be what I'm looking for. This data might have thousand things. Thread builder data can be that the student or the observer, whoever is doing it, it might not just be the reflection, right? Thread builder is exactly not a reflection. TOC is. Thread builder is just trying to understand what is the interpretation of whatever I'm hearing. So that might just be different data. That was the question. But I think we would like to close this round in the interest of time. Thank you, Team David Kelly, for the answers. Over to Team Transcend for their pitch. Please keep in mind that you only have 2 minutes.
Hello, everyone. So our problem statement is that we want to encourage more user engagement and want to improve user experience of all the DT Transit tools. So for that, we are empathizing with the user by taking users' feedback and also trying to directly speak to the user. And after the empathy part, after taking feedbacks from the users, we find that uh, we find problem statement from the feedbacks, and from that we diagnose few things which are functional limitation, lack of clear feedback mechanism, and self progress report. Now over to you, Vignesh.
And now, coming to the benchmarking. So for benchmarking against the established companies like tech companies, we can say Quora or the Stack Overflow, where they have the idea of upvoting so that we can get the related ideas and questions and answers and the first, so we don't have to search it further and we don't have to get frustrated. And coming to the ideating part, so we take a rigor builder. So as an example, to enhance the rigor builder, we will introduce a grammar categories, enabling user to structure their thoughts more effectively and foster collaboration. And next, coming to the prototyping, we are designing a new field that consolidates all tools in one accessible location for users. So we are using Team Expert feature, which introduces swipe feature, allowing users to navigate between fields easily. Over to you, Rajnika.
Okay. For the implementation part, we are connecting grammar categories with the rigor statements to introduce or promote a positive engagement between users. We are also focusing on making it more user friendly. So, for example, if you have a thought, you can draft it and post it later. And we are also looking at feedbacks to improve it further. In the learning, focusing on we are focusing on making it as a positive environment where a user can share their thoughts without the fear of judgments. And at last, we have a motto: iterate fast, make mistake fast, learn fast, and evolve fast. So, thank you.
Over to team David Kelly for questions.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you a question that what exactly is Rigor Builder and how is it providing value to your users?
Rigor Builder is a tool which helps in reasoning. So, suppose there is a statement, you reason that statement, and for that reasoning, you also challenge it, asking why questions. So, by challenging it, you rigor that reason, and this helps in decision making process, and also helps in improving your reasoning.
I have a follow-up question. So, how this rigor builder is like encouraging the users to use the DT tools?
So Rigor Builder will encourage so using because it will help them improve their thought process, help them improve their decision making process. So if you want to improve it, so they can engage with Rigor Builder. And also there is one thing, if they want to reason it, if they want to reason the rigor, they will have to comment it. If they are not commenting thank you, gratitude, then they can't rigor that statement.
That so that will help bringing the users for rigor builder. But how it makes like how it helps users to use other DT tools?
Okay, so what we have noticed is like with the data, the people want to interact, but they are unable to interact because of functional limitation and all this. So we are introducing new features, and in that features, there is a gratitude commenting where user can have their gratitudes on a post. So that's how they are going to
Okay,
interact more.
a follow-up question. So, how we are like in your ideating, how we are using that rigor builder? Like, can you like elaborate?
as already Darshana said, so after your rigor builder, you are going to going through others rigor builder, or you going to write on your own. So if you read someone's rigor builder and understand them, and you find it helpful or insightful, so you can leave your thank you message, kind of a gratitude, which helps you that you also got the thing you want and the idea, and the right the thing who write also gets the better understanding and be thoughtful, that it is more helpful. So we are inculcating a positive environment here for both of them. So we are not judging. This is the main idea.
So, how are you diagnosing your root problem or problem statement?
Same, we are conducting various interviews and surveys. On the basis of surveys, we are focusing on the more common thing that people have mentioned. It can be like there is no feature to add an interaction. So that's how we are diagnosing.
So you said you are focusing on the most common thing. So at this stage, is it more viable to focus on common things? And what about if different users want very different things? Then how do you tackle this?
Okay, different users. Uh, for example, initially we are focusing on the more common thing. So for 10, we are conducting 10 interviews, and in 7 of them, they are talking about adding reaction. So we'll be going with reaction only.
So how you guys are empathizing the user here for using the DT tools?
For empathizing, we are using two techniques. First is we will send them a survey form where we will ask them certain questions, and other than that, we will also interacting them with directly with few interns, and try to get their emotions. Are they feeling frustrated while using tool? Are they happy using tool, or any other problem?
So I want to ask this question, like you have introduced grammar category also. So how is it like going to encourage your users?
So grammar category is because writing rigor is more of a grammarly structured thing. Okay, when you write rigor, when you challenge it, uh, when you use proper grammatical, for example, why questions, there are certain questions, the way you should form a sentence. Like mostly users may have known what they want to challenge it, but they may not be able to articulate them in a good way. So we add categories, so it may be helpful to articulate the questions.
Okay, sometimes Grammarly, if I take example, it gives its own intention. It changes sometimes meaning. They are in a hurry to give feedback. How are you guys going to overcome that issue?
I would like to interrupt this discussion here. Number one, I think what Team Transcend means by grammar is different from the kind of grammar that Team David Kelly is referring to. They're referring to the logical, grammatical structure, the grammar of logic, not the grammar of the language itself. Second, we're moving into the features of the app. Let's try to stick to the framework of design thinking that they're using here. So, a question that was raised was how would the grammar encourage the users? I would like to rephrase that question to what problem is the grammar solving for the users?
So when you're
What is your exact problem statement here?
So when you're articulating, when you're new or here, so when you create a new rigor, you can't know how. So you have to know right thing. So what is the structured way approach? So categorizing the grammar will help us to know how we should write it, and from that we can understand and write also. It will be helpful for a new user.
So I have another question. So how are you benchmarking your prototyping solutions?
So as we said, we are using Stack Overflow and Quora for an example. So you are giving gratitude message right at the rigor builder. So let's say you created a rigor builder which is helpful for more of them. You got 100 uh, gratitude message. So your rigor builder is some kind of useful to common users in common problem. So so you don't have to search it further. It will just come pop up from the start. If you're searching for some problem you want to get understanding, so having a gratitude message as a count or APU, we can get it as faster as can. So it enhances user experience.
Um, how does the gratitude feature really solve the problem that you are trying to address or increase the user experience?
Yeah, so you created a rigor for a certain problem, let's say, and I'm coming for that kind of problem and searching for a rigor. So your rigor got 100 and more than gratitude message, then it is helpful in that case, right? So that I can understand the problem similar to mine as a solution already. So I can go through that easily. If I don't have means I have to search for it and search everywhere as I can. So it will take frustration and if I can't means it will be waste of time and energy. So
Okay, with
having
this
a
question,
yeah,
yeah, Vignesh. I hope you answered your question, or do you want to take more time?
no, the having a gratitude message, the count it will help us to enhance the user experience too. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Vignesh. And with this question, we would like to end this round as well. In the interest of time, we'll take three reflection and then we'll close. Whoever wants to reflect can unmute and go ahead. To encourage the participants of both the teams to go ahead and reflect on what you learned, what you discovered today.
I think one of my major learnings would be the way that we are exactly empathizing with the user. So, of course, there are certain data that we are going through when we were presenting our pitch, but also there might so certain aspects like Arthur pointed out, like are we really talking with the user and really understanding the whether what we are assuming or what we is it just an assumption, is it just what we think like it's in our head that it is the solution to their problem, or it might be the reality. So I think really interacting with the user and having uh, like actual understanding of the user, getting in the shoes of their user is more important.
Okay, thank you, Dia. Over to you, Darshan. I think you wanted to speak.
Yeah, so what I learned from this is that when you try to improve the features of any product, any technology, when you only focuses on your feature, you will not see that improvement. But when you try to get the perspective of the user, try to empathize with the user and get to know about what they want, then it will actually help to improve in greater impact in your features of the tool or any other product. This is what I learned from.
Okay, thank you, Darshana. Who's going next? One more reflection. Come on, team. Who's going? Teams, coaches.
Coaches can
Who's going?
also participate if they want.
Yes, Shreya. Go ahead.
Right. So through the discussions of both the teams, one thing I noticed is that defining the problem statement very clearly helps us sort of it's since it's the first step, I think it helps us go through the other steps much easier when you're able to define the problem statement and critically analyze it and see if it is an assumption or if it is something externally defined or is it really something the user is experiencing. I think that would make a lot of difference if you're trying to solve particular problems of the users.
Thank you, Shreya. With this, we'll close the Socratic dialogue. We'll thank you both the teams. Thank you, Team David Kelly. Thank you, Team Transit.